Hey everybody, happy draft day. It's 1:49 a.m. in the East, which means it's 10:49 in the PM in Oakland, where it's not yet draft day. I want to get out this. I really thought a lot about it, but I was afraid to pull the trigger, and I thought, you know what? I've been around this long enough. I'm going to let her rip with this. All right. Here are my top quarterbacks in order. Here's the quarterbacks I believe from 1 to 2, my roster, my depth chart of quarterbacks coming out of the 2026 NFL draft. Number one is Fernando Mendoza of Cal. I know he spent a year in Indiana, got the national championship, but as far as I'm concerned, he's always a golden bear. Energetic, smart, has that chip in his shoulder where he wants to win. Excellent, accurate passer, great runner, fast, deceptively fast, rangy and long at 6'5", and a true leader. This is the guy. Number two, Taylen Green of Arkansas. Yeah, 6'6", just an inch taller than Fernando Mendoza. Has a buggy whip arm, amazingly quick release. As far as I'm concerned, Talen Green is the Wemby of the NFL draft. A tall guy who's super fast, who's accurate, who is also a leader, who just makes it look effortless when he does what he does as a superb athlete, but he's not an out of control quarterback. He can throw the rollout, he can throw the dagger routes. He's just a simple, great talent. The only difference between he and Fernando is Fernando has more experience in a pocket drop back pass, but the passing system that Talen ran in Arkansas wasn't too dissimilar at all from what Fernando did. And now, arguably, Fernando went to better talent in Indiana. If he had stayed at Cal, maybe it would have been a different story. But look, Talen is so good that you would have to be a fool to pass him up. So Talen is my number two behind Fernando. Number three is Ty Simpson. Great accuracy. My question about Ty is every time he's needed to make that throw to win the game, most of the time for Alabama, he didn't do it. And that always stuck with me. Picked up the nice run, ran your offense well, but that intangible part was always missing for Ty. But number three. Then also he's height-wise, he's 6'3". Note, I want somebody with height like 6'6", 6'5", fast, rangy. Oh, basically a quarterback who's not just a passing weapon, but also a running weapon. And if that person's around, I'll get that person, as you can see, before anybody else. Then we get to Drew Allar, who's had a great year at Penn State and is really effective as well. Great passer, not quite the runner that the others are, but nonetheless extremely effective for Penn State. Got to have him on your squad if he's available and you can't get the other guys above them. Then we come to Carson Beck, another favorite of mine from Miami. Carson is a little rough around the edges, but I believe that he can return to the greatness he established 2 years ago in the right system with a coach that is willing to help him relearn his passing mechanics and get to a place where he's comfortable in the pocket and he's already a born field journal. He understands what it means to lead. Carson Beck, I think, can be an effective quarterback for somebody out there. Now, then we get to Garrett Nussmeier, who from LSU, who always seemed like the guy, but then he would always make that throw that made you think, maybe not. Okay, maybe not. And it's not so much that Nussmeier is not a great quarterback; he is, but the gentlemen that I named already are just that much better. Okay. And then we come to Haynes King, my favorite. Haynes is a perfect dual threat quarterback, equally able to kill you with his arm or his legs. And I think he was in a Georgia Tech offense that didn't do him too many great favors in the passing game in terms of design. I think if the Georgia Tech offense had a better set or repertoire of short passes, Haynes King's ranking would be even higher. Haynes King is a good quarterback and a great leader. And if Georgia Tech had actually beaten Georgia, we'd be thinking about Haynes King a little differently, maybe a lot differently. And then we come to Jaylon Daniels. Jaylon Daniels is serviceable at 6'1". He's a person who's great for your second stringer, great for someone that can get the job done in a pinch. I don't see him as the guy that's going to make the difference, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did. Okay? I wouldn't be surprised. And then we come to Diego Pavia. Diego has, for me, a gigantic problem. He's 5'9", okay? And I know what you're going to tell me about Malik Wills, but I interviewed Malik, and Malik is taller than he would think he is, okay? He's more like actually 6'2", Malik Williams is, if you actually take a look at my videos where I've interviewed him, because I'm 6 feet, and he's taller than I am. So, and then yeah, he's great on the run. But Diego Pavia is truly 5'9". And that's one thing in college, but to take that in the NFL, uh, that spells, gee, you're going to get killed, dude. I'm not comfortable with that. So that's my list. But the person that I really point to as the man who can make the difference, Talen Green. Talen Green's got the it factor. That's why he's number 2 on my list. Subscribe to Zennie62 and bookmark NFL News by Zennie62.com. Thanks.